It started off calm. A simple sit-down interview with Caitlin Clark. It's a rising face of women's basketball, fresh off a headline-making season, ready to reflect on her journey and what comes next. The lights were soft, the tone professional. But within minutes, everything shifted. When asked about the legends who paved the way, Caitlin smiled. But then came the line that turned the entire room cold. "I respect the women who came before me," she said, pausing, "but it's a new era." Now, in that moment, the cameras caught something no one expected. Sheryl Swoopes, sitting just off stage, shaking her head. She wasn't scheduled to speak. She was just there to show support. But that single quote, it cut deep. And fans could feel it. Within seconds, Sheryl stood up, whispered something to a nearby producer, and walked out. The interview didn't stop, but the vibe changed instantly. Social media exploded within minutes. Did Caitlin mean to throw shade? Was it confidence or disrespect? And why did Swoopes, a Wamba legend and pioneer, leave without saying a word? What came next? Receipts, reactions, and a firestorm that split the basketball world in half. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just give an interview, she lit a fuse, and now the whole league is watching the explosion. The room was full of reporters, team reps, and media producers, all expecting a typical polished interview from college basketball's golden girl. Caitlin Clark had been lighting up courts and headlines, quickly becoming the face of the sport. Fans loved her, networks wanted her, and brands were lining up. But behind the admiration, there had been whispers. Some of the league's legends, especially the ones who'd built the Wamba from the ground up, had started showing subtle signs of tension. And Sheryl Swoopes, she was at the center of it. On the day of the interview, Swoopes wasn't on camera. Swoopes wasn't part of the press junket. Swoopes simply there to observe, or at least that's what everyone thought. But once the cameras started rolling and Caitlin began talking, it became clear that the tension wasn't just behind the scenes anymore. "I think people are ready for a new face in the league," Caitlin said, brushing a strand of hair from her cheek. "No disrespect, but fans connect with the now, not the past." You could feel the temperature drop. Sheryl, seated in the second row, froze. She leaned in toward a producer and whispered something. The camera caught her expression blank. But tight. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't nodding. "Okay?" And within seconds, she was gone. She stood up, adjusted her blazer, and walked straight out the side door without saying a word. Reporters in the back exchanged wide-eyed looks. Some thought it was part of a segment. Others assumed she was just stepping out for a moment. But as the footage hit social media just minutes later, the truth hit like a tidal wave. Sheryl Swoopes walked out live, in real time. During Caitlin Clark's interview, the internet imploded. Sports pages reposted the clip. Fans began dissecting every frame. Slow-mo versions were uploaded to TikTok, zoomed in to catch the exact second Sheryl's eyes narrowed. A few people even claimed to hear her say "this is wild" under her breath, though that's still debated. But then came the real twist. Sheryl went to Twitter. She didn't tag anyone. No hashtags. No emojis. Just one sentence. "Legacy doesn't disappear because someone's trending." Boom. That one line ignited an alt storm. Twitter threads exploded. Commentators from ESPN to YouTube started weighing in. Some said Sheryl was being too sensitive. Others accused Caitlin of dismissing the very women who made her platform possible. And in the comments, fans were completely divided. "She didn't say anything wrong. She's just confident." One person wrote, "Nope. That was shade disguised as ambition." Another replied, "But what really shook people was what happened just 20 minutes after the walkout." When Caitlin's team posted a now-deleted clip from the interview with a caption that read, "The torch isn't passed, it's taken." That line lit the internet on fire. Told Sheryl, who had yet to respond to the post directly, reposted a highlight reel of her 3 WNBA championships and 4 Olympic medals on Instagram stories with the caption, "Reminder, and the fans completely polarized. Hashtag Team Clark and hashtag Respect Sheryl started trending at the same time. And just when it felt like things couldn't get more heated, someone leaked audio from backstage, a clip of Sheryl talking to a producer after. She left the interview. In the clip, you hear her say, "I'm not going to sit there and smile while she pretends we didn't exist. If that's the future, then good luck." It wasn't meant to go public, but now it had, and the fallout. The leaked audio had only been live for 2 hours, but the reactions were already spiraling. It wasn't just fans arguing anymore. It was full-blown media warfare. Sports blogs ran headlines like "Sheryl Swoopes refuses to stay silent," and "Did Caitlin Clark really disrespect the legends?" But while the internet buzzed, the WNBA stayed quiet until one player changed everything. Brittney Griner. Usually private and low-key since returning to the court, took to her Instagram stories with a bold statement. "A lot of us been biting our tongues for months," she wrote. "But today, we're not doing that." She followed that post with a clip from an all-star media day, one that hadn't aired yet, where a mic picked up a side conversation between Caitlin and a reporter during a break. Caitlin was laughing in the clip, unaware the camera was rolling, and said, "I mean, let's be honest, no one under 30 is Googling Sheryl Swoopes." Fans were stunned. The tone was casual, but the message was clear. Griner captioned the video, "This the energy. Off camera y'all don't see, but it's real." The divide deepened. Caitlin's supporters rushed to her defense. They said the clip was taken out of context, that she was making a joke, not an attack. Her management issued a quick statement saying she has tremendous respect for all the women who paved the way. But the damage was done within 24 hours. At least 6 former WNBA players posted cryptic responses of their own, including Tamika Catchings, Tina Thompson, and Lisa Leslie. None of them named Caitlin directly, but their tone spoke volumes. If you want the crown, respect the court. Fame doesn't equal legacy. When you forget where you came from, the game humbles you. And then, a surprise twist. An anonymous source from the interview's production team leaked a group chat screenshot, one that allegedly showed internal messages exchanged right before the interview. In the messages, a segment producer writes, "Make sure to push her on legacy versus future. It'll stir tension." Swoopes is in the room. Another responds, "Good. If it gets spicy, we go viral." Boom. That one leak flipped the narrative on its head. Was this all orchestrated? Fans who had turned against Caitlin began reconsidering. Maybe she was set up. Maybe she walked into a moment designed to cause conflict. And if so, was Swoopes in on it? Media had a field day. One outlet ran the headline, "Was the walkout?" Real insiders say the drama was planned. Sheryl Swoopes clapped back the same day with a 2-minute video. She stood outside a gym, phone in hand, no filter, no glam. "I don't fake nothing," she said. "I've earned the right to speak. When I feel disrespected, nobody told me to walk out." That was real emotion. "If y'all think I need a script to defend my legacy, you don't know me." The video went viral in under an hour. Caitlin, meanwhile, canceled her next scheduled interview. Her team said she needed time to refocus and protect her peace, but fans weren't buying it. Screenshots surfaced of her liking tweets defending her comment, including one that said, "They're just mad someone new's getting the spotlight." It's always the same story. And just when it seemed like it couldn't get messier, another video dropped. This time, it was from inside the locker room. A clip showed Caitlin talking to teammates right before the interview. You couldn't hear much, but one line stood out clear as day. "Watch how fast the vets switch up when they see I'm the future." No smile, no joke, just straight confidence. And for some, that was the final straw. The drama had officially jumped off the internet and into the real world. When Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court that Friday night, The energy was unlike anything she'd ever faced. It was her first game back since the interview storm. And it wasn't just cameras waiting, it was fans, signs, and heat dots. Some held up supportive messages like "Clark is the future" and "New school takeover." But others, they held signs that read, "Respect your roots. Google Swoopes. Humble before you crumble." One fan even wore a vintage Swoopes jersey with the words "Still relevant" taped across the back. The crowd was split, loud, electric. Every time Caitlin touched the ball, one side roared with cheers, the other booed. It was a live tension the WNBA hadn't seen in years. And then something wild happened. Sheryl Swoopes showed up. She wasn't seated courtside. She didn't come with press. She sat mid-level, surrounded by fans, wearing sunglasses and a blank expression. People didn't notice at first. But once they did, the entire arena turned. The camera caught her briefly on the Jumbotron. The crowd erupted. One half stood and clapped. The other half sat silent, side-eyeing the moment Caitlin saw it too. She glanced up just once mid-play. The eye contact didn't last, but the tension in the arena, it tripled then, just as halftime approached. A new name entered the chat, and it wasn't a basketball player. Cardi B posted a tweet. "Y'all doing too much to this girl?" Every new legend got heat from the old ones. It's part of the game. Let her ball boom. The internet lit up again. CARDI single quotes as comments split the fan base even further. Some agreed with her, calling out double standards and gatekeeping in the sport. Others said Cardi was out of her lane and that her take lacked the history and context. But the comment had an impact. Caitlin reposted it to her story with a heart emoji, her first public move in days, and it didn't stop there. Within hours, other celebs began chiming in. Some supported Caitlin. Others defended SWOOPES. Gabrielle Union tweeted, "You can be confident without erasing who came before you." Nia Long posted to Instagram, "This new generation got fire, but legacy walks in rooms you ain't even entered yet." The cultural divide was now bigger than just basketball. It had become a generational moment. Sports TV shows turned it into daily coverage. Hashtags like #RespectTheCourt and #ClarkEra started trending. Even the league commissioner released a statement urging unity across generations. But unity was nowhere in sight. And then came the interview that tipped everything. Sheryl Swoopes sat down with a major network and broke her silence fully and directly. And in that sit-down, she didn't hold back. "It's not about being threatened. It's about being erased," she said. "I love the growth of the game. I'm proud of what these young women are doing. But don't build your name by stepping on the ones who cleared the path." The host asked her point blank, "Do you think Caitlin disrespected you?" Sheryl didn't blink. Double quotes. "I think she forgot who made it possible for her to sit in that chair. And that's the real problem." The clip went viral instantly. Fans were in a frenzy again, and as the fallout continued, someone else made a quiet move that said more than any press statement. Caitlin's team pulled down the original. "Torch isn't passed, it's taken post." No explanation, just gone. But was it too late? 3 days after Sheryl Swoopes' viral interview, the league scheduled a special event, a legacy panel featuring WNBA legends and rising stars, meant to celebrate the past, present, and future of women's basketball. What they didn't say publicly was that both Sheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark would be there. Tickets sold out in hours. Everyone knew it wasn't going to be a quiet sit-down. Fans weren't coming for history lessons, they were coming for a showdown. The panel began normal enough. Lisa Leslie spoke about growing the game. Sue Bird shared memories from her Olympic years. And then they passed the mic to Caitlin. She stood tall, confident. But you could see it in her eyes. The weight of the last week had settled in. "No, there's been a lot of talk," she said. "And maybe some of what I said didn't land the right way. But I never meant to erase anybody's legacy. She paused, looking over at Sheryl. "I grew up watching y'all. I modeled my game after you. If anything I said came off as disrespect, that's on me. I should have said it better." The room went quiet, not awkward, more like stunned. And then, to everyone's shock, Sheryl Swoopes nodded. She didn't speak right away. She took the mic slowly. Her tone was calm but firm. "I appreciate that," she said. "But words are one thing. What you do next matters more." Caitlyn nodded. "I understand." And just like that, the crowd stood up. Not everyone clapped, but the moment it shifted everything. The moderator, clearly not expecting this level of rawness, pivoted quickly and moved on. But the fans had already gotten what they came for. Within an hour, clips from the exchange hit Twitter. TikTok flooded with reactions. And even the harshest critics admitted this was the moment that might have saved Caitlyn's public image. And then, the final twist? One more message from Sheryl later that night. She posted a photo of the two, of them side by side on stage, serious-faced, no filter. Her caption, "It's not about passing the torch. It's about keeping the flame alive." Boom. That one line reshaped the entire narrative. Blogs rewrote their takes. Fans who had picked sides now called for unity. Even Cardi B reposted the picture with, "Now that's grown woman energy." Still, not everyone forgave. Some said Caitlyn only apologized because the backlash was too loud to ignore. Others said Sheryl only showed grace because she had already made her point. But no one could deny the moment had impact. And quietly, almost unnoticed, something else happened behind the scenes. The WNBA announced a special mini-doc series called The Rise, featuring young stars paired with legends for behind-the-scenes, mentorships, and joint interviews. And the first duo listed, Caitlyn Clark, Sheryl Swoopes. In the end, what started as a storm turned into a full-circle moment. But the internet never forgets. And as the game moves forward, fans are still watching, waiting to see if the apology was just a moment, or the beginning of real change. And just like that, the room that once felt divided finally paused. Not in full peace, but in recognition. Recognition that even in the loudest storms, clarity sometimes sneaks in through a single moment of honesty. Caitlyn Clark, once untouchable, was forced to confront more than just questions. She had to face a history that paved the way for her, spotlight, and the living legends who carried it here. And Sheryl Swoopes, she didn't just walk out of that interview. She walked into a larger truth, one that reminded everyone why legacy still matters. But here's what we know. Then conversation isn't over, because next season, these women are going to share the same stage, the same league, the same headlines. And with every shot, every press conference, every side glance, fans will be watching closer than ever. Will Caitlyn carry the weight of this moment with grace? Will Sheryl continue to stand her ground and demand respect for the past? Or will another twist shake the foundation all over again? Now it's your turn to sound off. Do you think Caitlyn Clark was just confident or completely out of line? Was Sheryl Swoopes defending the game or overreacting to the new wave? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Hit that like button if this story had you hooked from the first clip. And don't forget to subscribe, because the drama in this league is just getting started. Thanks for watching, and remember,